What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we need to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, talk on some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close on Friday, 2.14% in the green, 34.62 million shares were traded, 45 is the average. A lot of the data points behind the scenes are very primed and ready for a continuation of a breakout, as I've been kind of signaling over the last several videos. At the time of doing this video, there hasn't been really any recent press releases, no SEC filings, nothing really floating around. It's just been merely piggybacking off of the broader market. This upcoming week, though, is going to be one hell of a roller coaster, because starting off on Tuesday, there is that damn CPI data that's coming out, which I feel like it just came out a couple of weeks ago, but year over year, it looks like the forecast is around 4%, and the month over month is going to be at 0.3. So we'll just have to wait and see on what does come out. And it'll be very interesting because a lot of people have been talking on how the Feds are going to be cutting rates possibly sooner rather than later, and thus are more worried about a potential recession coming rather than inflation. So if the CPI is a little bit higher than expected, then obviously the market is going to transition into kind of full-on fear mode once again. That's just my own interpretation, of course, but I do feel that CPI is going to be significantly lower, probably come in at the month over month at 0.2 and probably around the 3.8 on the year over year. And then moving on, later on Wednesday, there is PPI. There's also the Fed decision rate, which at this stage, I think it's fair to assume that it is going to be flat at that 5.5, so no change for that. But it's going to be the future guidance, what is said after, that's going to dictate what happens for most likely the rest of the week. And then on Thursday, there is core retail sales. So definitely, that is going to be one crazy of a roller coaster. So far, there isn't really anything planned specific to SoFi for this upcoming week. So SoFi is just going to piggyback off of most likely what happens with the broader market, but a lot of the data points behind the scenes is very optimistic. So I'm going to break that down for you. Starting off with options, of course, from Friday, there was around $4.86 million in calls being purchased versus $1.55 million in puts. So similar to the rest of the week, the broader market is anticipating for SoFi to continue to trend up. Looking at some of the specifics for SoFi for the call options, it shows that people are anticipating for it to be above $9, which based on the technicals is not too far-fetched, right? And if there is good CPI data, the market is just going to run. So this is definitely some fairly good information. Looking at puts though, it is anticipated to be sub around $8 or possibly around $7.50. So once again, I think people are hedging that there might be some negative repercussions as a result of CPI or maybe just the broader market. But no matter what, when it comes down to options activity, it is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. And there hasn't been really any recent analyst ratings. So the last one I think was done about 4 days ago, if I remember correctly, just looking at tip ranks right here. So yeah, it looks like, 8 days ago, $4 price target, sell, Compass Point, Giuliano, that does have a 52% success rating. There hasn't been any change for the forecast for the upcoming Q4 earnings, so it's kind of just been flat for that. So I've been monitoring this. Once any changes do come, then I'll let you know, especially based on the Q&A. I do anticipate some analysts to really adjust their estimates for earnings per share to be a little bit more positive. So once again, there's that. Cathie Woods has been buying throughout the week. I believe that she did buy about 2 instances this past week alone. So definitely Cathie Woods has her eyes set on growth and stocks that have been really hit over the last, 6+ months. And just to give you a quick overview of shorts, as I've said in the past, I don't see SoFi being a short squeeze play, just bringing this up as merely a benchmark. Utilization is 48.04, short score is 68.15%. And if you have any questions about any of this, let me know. But shorts did increase about 34,000 shares on Friday, 14.83% of the free floats being shorted, and 132.69 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average is around 0.91%, so very small. And through the interactive broker, short availability does indicate that there is more than 10 million shares available to be shorted. And this was kind of interesting that happened at 5:01 briefly there was 0 shares available. So I don't know if that was just a glitch behind the system, or someone or some entity was doing something behind the scenes. But no matter what though, by shorts increasing about 35,000 shares and it being a green day, it's not really much to write home about. It's just kind of stagnant overall. Some people or just some institutions might not see today's rally, or I guess Friday's rally, as being justified, so still not really much to write home about. And as I've said in the past, I do anticipate the short interest to drop to probably around the 12% by the end of December, as that new SEC transparency rule does kick in. So that might be a little bit more positive on the buying side as well. So that might be coming in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. So in my opinion, this information is very bullish, as is the options activity. So let's move over to technicals. So with it closing on Friday at $8.13, it is between this R1 and this R2. In fact, it did bounce off of this R2, so it didn't really have enough on Friday to get above that, but most likely early next week you're going to see that $8.20 resistance tested. So that might be coming, like I said. $7.95 is going to be that next strong support. But like I said, I do feel that the broader market does want to take SoFi higher. So potentially, if everything goes well with a lot of the data points that does come out, I do feel around the 861 might be the peak for the end of next week. Or even if you zoom out a little bit more, if you are more optimistic, it could touch around that 946 if everything goes to plan, and maybe SoFi comes out with a surprise catalyst as well. Definitely could work in favor, but I think that might be a little bit far-fetched. Who knows? What do I know, right? So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying SoFi? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with SoFi? So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And if you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below and also the comments. And just on a FYI, I've been doing SoFi videos like every second day, because obviously I think a lot of people on this channel do like that. But I am actually going on a quick vacation, heading out to England, so I won't be technically doing any videos this week. So my apologies. Stay tuned for, I guess, the following week for more SoFi content. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like I said. And with all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.